Welcome back, ladies. I am your host, Teal Elizabeth, founder of the Relax into Love Master Course, and I am wanting to talk about a really good, juicy topic today, talking about failure. Failure, and all the ways that it shows up, and how failure, when we allow it, the belief of failure can really self-sabotage our success for life. Now, I know that this is probably a concept you're aware of, and probably something that maybe you've had experience with dealing with failure, but I think it's a really important topic, as are all these beautiful topics, so let's really just dive right into it. I will start out by saying that I myself, even this morning, have been battling with my own fears of failure. And that's why I'm able to talk about it and want to talk about it so candidly with each of you, because I see this as such a underlying fear of so many of women that come to me, especially in regards to fear of not being able to truly have what it is that they want in a relationship with the man of their dreams. And especially as I take women through the Relax into Love Master Course, a lot of the work that we do is starting to really envision and dream up what it is that we even really want. And that's when this fear of failure can really start rearing its ugly head. Because when we start to actually go into the dreams, the desires, the things that we want more than anything else, the things that just crack open our heart with just excitement and love and so much power, that's when we instantly, many times, can have this incredible just feeling of closure, right? It's like a shutdown. It's like our mind won't even let us dream. Our mind won't even let us go over there and even feel the feelings of what that could even feel like, because we are so afraid of failing on the way of getting there. And if this is something that hits home for you, write in the comments, write in the chat, comment, email me, whatever it is, because I want to really make sure that if this is hitting home for you, that you're recognizing it and commenting and reflecting on this for your own experience, because it is so important to call out these fears and make sure that they're not running the show for our entire life. They've already run the show for long enough, and we do not need to continue to let them run the show forever. And when it comes to really allowing ourselves to have what it is that we want, especially with a partnership, this is something that can really hold us back, right? And for me, I had to move through this fear with relationships, and now I'm even moving through this fear in regards to my business and expanding my business and getting this deep, important message out there to the world. I too can feel this insane fear of failure. What if I fail? What if I don't actually make it to get over there where I want to be? And it's ludicrous, right? It's ludicrous because just as I can say to you, it's silly for you to not dream up what you want and have that relationship that you always want. To me, it feels ludicrous to actually say, I want to have an expansive, successful empire of a business, right? I want to be able to reach millions and millions and millions of women with my words and with my content and with my incredible courses that I offer. But somehow, when we allow there to be that disconnect, and when we allow ourselves to get caught up into the mind of fear around failure, around rejection, around not being good enough, we actually self-sabotage ourselves on the way to that destination and never even let us have that destination. And then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy where we literally are keeping ourselves from what we want because we're listening to the fear that's afraid of having what we want. Does that make sense? We are literally, by listening to the fear that is afraid of ever having what we want, we keep ourselves from having what we want. It is a negative downward spiral, and it is incredibly powerful. And it almost feels sometimes like it's got its little grubby mitts all around your heart, and it's not letting go, right? I had a woman come to me a couple days ago that just really truly felt that even though she saw all the success stories and all the testimonials of so many women that I've supported in helping to step into their highest self and build that confidence within them and attract their perfect dream partner that they never thought they could have, she felt it wasn't going to work for her, right? That no matter all the proof of everything out there that I have something that I could support her with and help her with, she felt that it wasn't going to work for her. And how many of you have actually fallen into that trap for yourself? I know I have, with my own goals that I've tried to go towards. Doesn't matter how many other people have succeeded in having that goal, but for some reason my mind says, well, it's not going to work for you. You're broken. Something's wrong with you. It's not going to work for you, right? So how many times do we allow ourselves to listen to that voice and purposely or subconsciously, without realizing it, tell ourselves, well, it doesn't matter. It's not going to work for me. So why bother even trying, right? That is the voice of fear. That is the voice of the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of not being good enough, so why even bother? And this is why it is so incredibly important to call this out and to really express it and see it for what it is so that we can see the ludicrousness of it, right? If that's even a word, to see the craziness of this, that it doesn't even have any root in reality, but that we can allow that to be our reality if we keep listening to that voice and to that fear, right? So I want you to take a second. If this is sparking something for you, recognize it. Listen to that little gut voice inside of you that says, eek, something she's saying feels true, or eek, something she's saying is triggering me, right? And just notice how it feels in your body. Usually when it's something big, something scary that we are afraid to admit to ourselves, it will feel like tension. It will feel like tightness in the body. And when we feel that tightness in the body, it's really easy to just want to numb it and just escape it and avoid it and not go into it, right? And this is what I'm so passionate about doing and holding space for women to do, because this is where our growth lies. And this is where the spaciousness comes. When we can move through the tightness, we get to the spaciousness. Kind of like birthing, right? You got to move through the birth canal to get out into the open, into the expansiveness of the outside world. And that's what we need to do with these fears. If we do not let ourselves move into the fear and through it, we end up pushing ourselves back. We end up holding ourselves back, and that fear starts to become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, right? I'll give you a personal example in my own life. I had an experience about 2 years ago where I had a total just failure moment, right? Failure moment in the business, and it just made me feel like I wasn't good enough, like I wasn't enough, like everything that I had was just horrible. But the silly part was that I hadn't even built anything. I was trying to do this whole launch and express myself without even having anything to really share. I hadn't really gotten my feet underneath me yet. But that moment was the moment that shaped this belief that I was never going to have success and that I was going to be a failure for life. And just this morning, I decided to move myself through that failure and through that fear and through that traumatic experience that has been shaping me and holding me back for so long. And although I've had incredible, massive success and it's been such a beauty, I hadn't realized, and even until this morning, how much failure and the fear of failure was still holding me back from allowing myself to truly expand in the ways that I know I need to expand to do what my soul is meant to do on this earth. And to me, it felt like this icky, black mud, this like molasses that was just like infusing into every little pore in my body, especially around my heart and around just all of that chest area where you want to get into that space of just feeling expansive, but you can't. It just felt like there was just this block, massive block around my heart. And this is something that I hear and see with my clients as well. It's just like this fear comes in like this cloud, like this dark, heavy mass, right? And it just sits on our chest, or sometimes it sits in our head, or in our stomachs, or on our shoulders. And it literally holds us in this stagnation, in this pattern of repetition, of attracting certain types of men or certain types of experiences into our life that we don't want. We know we're better than having, but we don't know how to get through it and out of it. And recognizing that and feeling that and literally allowing myself to just cry and process and use my own clearing techniques to clear it out of myself. I literally felt like I was getting out this molasses, this dark, icky energy out from underneath in my soul and out so that it could be dispersed and dissolved. And I tell you, this is the process that I take women through, and it is so incredibly powerful, especially to do it on myself. It was a very unique experience. But it was so liberating, and it is so liberating every time I take women through this. It feels like a heaviness that you didn't even know you've been carrying has been lifted. It feels like all of a sudden that constriction in your heart when you think about the thing that you really, really want more than anything, it feels like that constriction is released. It feels like you can breathe easy again. It feels like there is infinite possibilities and that the whole world is possible for you to have and go out and grab and attract and bring into you. And it is such an empowering place to stand. And that is the power of moving through beliefs and moving through fears. And I know this is vulnerable for me to even share, about what I'm going through and my own fear of failure, but I want to share it because it's so incredibly important to honor it and recognize this process and know that we are all on these journeys of moving through blocks, moving through experiences. And although I may have, succeeded in some areas, there's always areas of improvement that I'm always moving through in my own life as well. And so anything that you feel that you may be blocked around, it's completely okay. It's completely okay. But it is so important to honor this process and give yourself the spaciousness to go into the depths of the fear, right? To go into the place of the ickiness, of the sticky, black, dark molasses that's suffocating us, keeping us in this stagnation space. And know that this does not have to be our reality forever. This really can be cleared and rinsed. And that's really this process that I take women through, is like this soul cleanse, literally releasing, rinsing you from the inside out, letting this stuff come up and out of your psyche, out of your soul, so that it is no longer just sticking in there, right? So that it feels like those dreams that you want to achieve now actually feel doable. They actually feel like something you can go grab. That it doesn't have to be this thing that makes you sad, that makes you feel defeated, that makes you feel less than or not good enough or not worthy. You are so worthy of love. You are so worthy of having every perfect type of relationship you could ever want with everyone in your life, right? With men, with your family, with your girlfriends, with your coworkers. You are able to have that, but it takes intention. I'm not going to say it takes work. It takes intention. Intention and time to give yourself the spaciousness to go into that depth. And to allow yourself to breathe, right? And allow yourself to just cry and release and let go of whatever is not serving you anymore. And that's what I'm here to really recognize and show for you and walk my talk and do it alongside of you and be that guide for you as well. So that you know that no matter what it is that's holding you back, and maybe you don't even know what that is at this point, knowing that as soon as you clear through that, you are on your way. You're 90% of the way there. Because we are our biggest, worst enemy, right? They always say that. We are our biggest, worst enemy. We're the ones that keep ourselves in our own way. And it's incredible to see at what lengths we will go to self-sabotage our own self to perpetuate that belief and that fear that keeps us in that safety, that keeps us in that comfort zone that we don't want to move through. And I want to just give huge shout outs to the women that I'm supporting right now at this current moment, because they are moving through some massive, massive clearings of their own. And it is just so beautiful to watch them just literally bloom and grow before my eyes, just as I feel like I'm doing every day on this earth as well. And that is my message to you today, and something that I really wanted to share with you today is this fear of failure. It is a real fear. It's a real fear for the majority of people, and it does not need to be our current experience and our life experience for now, forever, for any time, right? But it's almost like a rite of passage to be able to really honor and accept the fact that, okay, it's time to move through this. It's time to let go. It's time to release, right? So with that, I hope you are all having a beautiful, beautiful start to your day. If this is something that you are curious about learning more about or want to talk with me and explore this deeper, I have a series of lots of incredible resources to help you move through this. One being a beautiful, beautiful training that I'm calling the 3 critical mistakes women make keeping them from love that lasts. And in this, I pose 6 really powerful questions to help you really think deeper and reflect on how may I be showing up that's keeping me from love that lasts? And what mistakes may I be making, the common mistakes that women make that are keeping me from being able to have what it is that I truly want. So if that's something you're interested in, you can click the link below and register. This is a powerful, powerful 90-minute training. You're not going to want to miss it. And as always, you're welcome to email me or DM me or message me as well, and just share, what really resonated with you and how you really are taking those steps to move through your own fears and really step into the life that you know you deserve. Until next time, lovelies, I am wishing you a beautiful day. Mwah!